Well, we're bringing you these live visuals right now. Diepkloof residents are waiting, of course, to hear what that group you see on your screens. The Mayor of Johannesburg, Kabelo Kwamanda, as well as the members of the mayoral committee will have to say to them, well, they're visiting the Diepkloof community and hostel after days of violent service delivery protests in the area. But we understand at a meeting held just yesterday, residents had vowed to take to the streets once again if their problems are not resolved. If those visuals are going live, I want to just head over to our reporter Heidi Giokos, who is following the Mayor Kabelo Kwamanda during this visit at the Diepkloof hostel. Heidi, good morning to you, colleague. We're seeing those visuals moving with the Mayor. What's expected today upon this visit?
Yes, so we do know that the Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Kabelo Kwamanda, as well as the MMC for Housing or Human Settlements, the MMC for Environment and Infrastructure, the MMC for Public Safety are here assessing the Diepkloof hostel. We do know that this all stems from the violent protests that we were seeing over the past couple of days, and the community really demanding for some action. As you can see, that the Mayor is, of course, doing his assessments and being briefed by community leaders here in Diepkloof hostel about the challenges. The challenges, of course, being the issues around adequate housing, water and sanitation, as well as access to electricity, and the fact that the community has never really had proper supply of electricity, and they want something to be done about this. The community had expressed that they would continue protesting should nothing be done about this. We did see the MMC for Public Safety yesterday arriving and engaging with community members, and he did indicate to eNCA that he would be briefing the Mayor on the state of this area, really speaking about the tragedy of all of this and how people should not be living in such circumstances. He's also made it very clear that something was going to be done about it, and literally in a couple of hours after that we saw the Mayor releasing a notice to say that he will be visiting the area. The visuals that Teddy's showing you right now are very significant, Tumelo, and the reason for this is because there's no running water in this area except these communal taps that majority of the community come and use. So it's about 4 of these all around the Diepkloof hostel. People come here to gather water, to go into their rooms to bath, do their washing, and to gather water to cook and clean or whatever else they need the water for. So that in itself is another huge challenge. The fact that they don't have access to running water. You can see that the infrastructure is completely dilapidated. We've been showing you these visuals all week, basically. You can also see that there is serious illegal connections happening here, and the MMC for Public Safety yesterday saying that that is obviously going to happen because people don't have access to electricity. It's a bit difficult for us to move in here because there's just so many people, but let's see if we can just try and get in so we can see what the Mayor is looking at this point. Tumelo?
All right, Heidi, I mean, of course, we can see that there are a lot of media contingency, but also members of, the community, the Diepkloof hostel as well, standing alongside the Mayor. I suppose they're there because they've been calling, right, for government officials to come, Heidi, to address them. And what are they hoping to hear from the Mayor? What are they hoping to get from this visit by the Mayor? Surely they're not looking just for a PR exercise where the Mayor is looking like he is doing something or attending to this. They want tangible results and a desired outcome. Did they share that with you?
Yes, exactly. I think it's not just about coming to do an assessment and then leaving. When we did speak to Bab Sanel Msibi this morning, he did indicate to us that he doesn't want this just to be another exercise where, the community is addressed by government officials and then forgotten after. Again, this is a forgotten community where you've had officials come in to express concern and that something will be done and nothing is ever done. So the aim of this, hopefully, is to have some sort of intervention, whether or not there was a budget that was allocated for this particular area, if that budget was adequately used, why were things not looked after, and why was the infrastructure left to dilapidate to such a level. So the community is hoping for an action plan at this point, not necessarily a promise to the community that something will be done. They actually want to see something done about this. For now, it just seems as though the mayor needs to do an assessment of what the actual problems are at this point. He's obviously being told about the issue around the water, which is, of course, as I mentioned to you, a concern, the fact that they don't have proper water facility here, no ablution facilities. I mean, Tumelo, people don't have toilets. They use those mobile toilets that are often not even maintained. So there's obviously a huge hygiene risk here because there's no proper water and sanitation. The gentleman who is engaging with the mayor and officials, those are the actual leaders of this hostel, and they are obviously trying to just explain exactly what is going on and the concerns that they have. I've mentioned this before, a forgotten community, a community that you can see by the state of the infrastructure that there has been no development, there has been no proper focus on this community, and community members have expressed time and time again, yes, so these are the toilets. When we spoke to one of the mamas earlier this week, she was saying to us, imagine having to use these toilets. They're not kept up with, they're not maintained. Even the state of this road, you can see that there is just no basic services that are offered here, and which becomes a very big problem. This is a good step, I would say, in terms of officials really on the ground moving into this community and seeing what the problems are. But at the end of the day, this exercise will be futile if nothing is actually done about it. So you have the mayor, you have the MMC for Environment and Infrastructure, the MMC for Human Settlements, and the MMC for Public Safety. So that's 4 officials at this point, and you have a number of other councillors. I do see the former MMC of Human Settlements that's also here. So it's a number of government officials. So surely there should be an action plan that's implemented sooner rather than later, Tumelo.
It was important, Heidi, that you reminded us of the MMCs that are here, Public Safety, Environment and Infrastructure, Human Settlements, because just from the visuals we're seeing, colleague, you could see that the living conditions are humane. The particular room that even the media contingency was going inside into when the mayor was inside as well, you could see it's a very small room, and reminded me of when you had a particular resident telling you that, Heidi, as many as 11 people could be accommodated in just one room. So again, we're seeing that living conditions as well, they coupled with those issues around sanitation, water, a lack of electricity are of huge concern. But we could also see those dilapidated infrastructure, the roofings there. It seems that they're not necessarily in good condition.
Yes, I mean, look at these visuals right now that we are showing you. Nothing new to our viewers. We've shown this throughout the week. But this is the reality, Tumelo. And as you mentioned, I would say inhumane. It goes against our constitution. The fact that people should have access to housing, water, sanitation, electricity. And it's just really difficult to believe that people live in this condition. So they are being shown this particular area here. And believe it or not, you would look at this and think, this is an abandoned room or an area where people aren't really living in, but you would be surprised that people actually live in here, which is obviously very concerning. We've been told, as you mentioned, the fact that about 11, sorry, can I just stick with my cameraman, please? You've been told the fact that you have up to 11 people living in a room like this. How is that even possible? And I've been seeing reports on social media where people are saying, why are people expecting free housing and free electricity and all sorts of things? But when the community is saying they don't want anything free, they just want the basics for now, and they just want to be able to really, have some sort of humanity and dignity given to them, because that's been stripped away from them.
Continues to take place out in Diepkloof, and at this time 3 minutes past 10 o'clock, with the mayor looking at what's happening inside that room, assessing the extent of the damage. Can we expect him to address the public after this engagement? What is the sort of the program looking like just post this assessment, because I suppose it's quite important in him giving a feedback post the analysis and informing the public, our viewers as well, as to what the next steps are?
Yes, so I think for now they are just all the MMCs and the mayor together is obviously trying to just be on the ground at this moment and get an indication of what exactly is going on and what the state and the problems. And then also we do know that let me just jump here again. We do know that they will be now moving to possibly the hall where they will be engaging with the community as a whole, because it's one thing, Tumelo, to engage with community leaders and make all sorts of promises and then be on the ground and have a look at all of this and then leave. They need to engage with the community because it's the community that lives here every single day. It's the community that the mayor and the MMC serve and need to take responsibility of the state that these people live in. And they will obviously have to engage with the community and possibly try and calm them down, because when we spoke to Bab Msibi earlier on, he did tell us that the community is relieved that somebody is listening and somebody has come out to assess what's going on, but they're also saying that that's not going to be where they leave it, that if nothing is done, they will continue with their protest action. And that's the sad reality to all of this, is that oftentimes communities have to resort to protest action and destruction of infrastructure and so forth, because otherwise they are not heard and they are not considered. So I think now they are going to continue assessing what's going on. It's quite a big area, and there are obviously a number of issues. So we do know that he will continue with his walkabout and then possibly address the community. And this is important because we haven't really seen the mayor. He was recently elected. We haven't really seen him that much out and about, and I think this is telling. I mean, I was speaking to some community members yesterday and I said, do you even know who the mayor is? And they said no, because the mayors keep changing in the city of Johannesburg. So this is going to be an important one for the community to really start trusting government officials if they can, that they will be able to make a difference in their daily lives, given the state and the visuals we are showing you, that people are subjected to this every single day.
Making very important a point there regarding Mayor Kabelo Gwamanda not really being seen much in the past couple of weeks. I think even acting mayor at the time, Kenukunene, was standing in for him. They had cited ill health at the time, I understand, but seeing him now out and about trying to address those issues out in the Diepkloof hostel. Heidi, I think at this point we'll leave it there for now as the mayor continues to assess what's happening out in the hostel and receives that feedback and briefing from community members as well as members of the mayoral committee. And as soon as he's ready for a briefing or there are any other developments, we'll be sure to be with my colleague Heidi Giokos for that update.